r/AskReddit by Redmond Dtes. What's the worst thing you've been caught in the act of? I had been out all day and was heading to the station to head home. Busting for a wee, I ducked off a busy street into an alleyway, then another alleyway. Found a quiet spot and had a wee. Felt great. Flashlight on me and a group of cops gave me a disappointed look. They asked what I was doing. Obviously being caught in the act, I fessed up and said I tried to find somewhere quiet and out of the public eye. Copper said, sure, but did you have to do it on the wall of our police station? Let me off with a warning. He was a good guy. The others found it funny. My mom caught me sticking my dung in the vacuum cleaner hose when I was like 12, horrific. My mother walked in on my buddy and I standing in front of her mirror flashing our dungs to each other and telling each other to fill our sacks. We are probably about 12, 13 then. We are both in our 20s now, and I don't know if he remembers it, but I cringe every time I think about it. My mom sure as hell remembers it, lol. I was embarrassed as F when we got caught. So I fart usually around the time I wake up. That moment when you are almost awake, but just turn around for a few minutes of extra sleep. So in my own house it's no problem, but I was 19 and at a sleepover after a party, sleeping on the living room couch with another guy and about 5 girls in the same room. I woke up 4 of them with the loudest fart you can fart after a night of drinking, the rest were already awake. I got caught jacking it by my sister when I was like 14. I got caught by my dad jacking it when I was 24. It was 100% worse when you are older. It's just pathetic. I'm almost 40 now. It still freaking kills me. I was in the field in the army at night. I walked 50 yards away from where we were all camped. We had vehicles in a row in a field against a line of trees. I got super far away from everyone so I could jerk off since I was 19 and it had been a week. I whip it out and start going at it. A guy cost 10 feet from me, squatting in the dark taking a shit. I don't know why the dumb fudge wasn't shitting where the latrines were. At least there were over 100 guys out there and we couldn't see well enough to recognize each other. My sister-in-law when I was 13. She walked into my room. I was naked, handful of Vaseline, little hard dong in full view. I did the best to cover myself. She sat down on the edge of my bed and made small talk. No mention of the elephant in the room. 10 long minutes later, she left. Never mentioned it again. Wild. Walking to a house party with a case of beer. Cop pulls up and asks for my ID. I was 20, 2 months away till my 21st birthday. He makes me open and pour out every single beer down the gutter and gave me an MIP. I was playing the game Heavy Rain for the PlayStation 4 at my parents' friend's house and my mom came in the room to check and ask me if I wanted anything to eat. The room was pitch black, the game had motion controls, I had to brush the main character's teeth while he was in his underwear. You probably know where I'm going here. My mom walks in, sees me in the dark, with a man on screen in his underwear brushing his teeth, and I'm using the controller to make an up and down motion that looks like something else, and my mom just closes the door instantly and gives a look of confusion and disappointment. It was an awkward couple of days after that. I got caught smashing like 4 free pastries in the break room at work. I was poor and starving, and the guy who walked in was like, whoa. Blowing a friend by his very kind and patient, but also very proper, uptight Lutheran minister father, who had simply come up to friend's room to see if we wanted any mozzarella sticks. We has also been smoking weed out the window, which usually worked, but apparently there was some lingering smoke. As we awkwardly scrambled to attempt to not look like we were doing what we were doing, he just looked up and sniffed the air. I don't like what I smell. I don't like anything about this. The disappointment in his voice cut deep. He turned to me. I'm sorry, but you're not currently welcome in our home. I'll give you boys a moment of privacy. Turned on his heel and left. Sex on the living room floor by her very conservative family, which included young siblings. Gambling. Seriously, when people know you have a problem and they see you gambling secretly, it's insanely embarrassing. Especially if you have ever borrowed money from them before. Luckily I never got to a point where I got in depth or owed some friend or family member more than 50 euros, but still, I know people who got ruined by it, and as someone who has gambled a lot I find it sad and also embarrassing. Nothing terrible, more embarrassing. I was about 11 years old, over at a friend's house for a sleepover with a handful of other friends. At one point, we end up playing Truth or Dare. I chose Dare, so I was tasked with swiping my friend's older brother's Playboy from his top shelf bedroom closet. I'm on a chair reaching into the closet when my friend's mother comes walking in, asking what I was doing. I went running back to the rest of the group, whom they readily ratted me out to the mom. Later on the night, I was unfortunately the first to fall asleep, so I was obviously messed with, permanent marker and shaving cream on the face, and supposedly teabagged. Not my best night growing up. Jerking it to sister videos by my sister. I was caught with my vibrator at 15 by my dad. Spread eagle and in the middle of finishing. I was caught using a back massager as a vibrator when I was 10 by my aunt. Luckily she never said anything to my mom. I would have ended up in a Bible prison camp or something. Well, in my experience, the worst thing that happened to me when I was a teenager was getting caught copying my classmates' test papers without noticing my professor directly looking at me with her terrifying eyes. It was an awkward moment for me, and she observed me closely every time after that. I don't know if that was the worst thing for me, since I'm an introvert who does not want any interaction from others. I feel like this is a pretty classic one, but I was having a wank when I was 13 and wondering why the sound wasn't working on my phone, so I was confused trying to turn it up and down, just thinking my phone was broken. Turns out, it was hooked up to the Bluetooth speaker my mother and extended family had while they were barbecuing. Smoking weed in the freezer at a grocery store I used to work at. Playing strip poker with my ex. I've been caught stealing money from my mother purse. Stabbing a cop. Did 5 out of 10 years. That's all folks. Thank you for watching. If you like videos like this one, why not like and subscribe for more. Have a nice evening. Tell your friends about me.